Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to picture a scenario, one that honestly might hit a little close to home. Imagine two older adults, right? Both catch their toe on the exact same raised rug. The first person stumbles, takes one incredibly fast step, and catches themselves. They stay standing. But the second person? They freeze, just for a fraction of a second too long, and unfortunately, gravity wins. So what is the actual difference between those two people? Is it just stronger legs? Better balanced shoes? Well, as we're going to see today, it's all about a deeply wired emergency response. And the absolute best news, that response can literally be retrained.
We've got a really clear roadmap for this explainer today. We're going to talk about the half-second difference, why timing beats strength, your body's 3 layers of protection, why being extra cautious actually backfires, how to wake up that reflex, and then wrap up with a 4-week progress blueprint to help you rebuild your trust and independence. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, the half-second difference. Let's talk about that split-second save.
So let's start with the absolute most critical factor of any fall. And surprise, it isn't actually about how strong your legs are. It's all about how unbelievably fast your nervous system reacts. The magic number here is 0.5 seconds, just half a second. Freezing for even a moment too long changes the entire outcome when gravity takes over. Think about it. In the exact second your foot clips a chair leg, your brain doesn't have the luxury of time. You can't consciously think, which foot should I move? How far should I step? No way. By the time you even ask those questions, you're already on the floor.
Moving on to Section 2, timing over strength, and why those fast reflexes matter so much.
Now, this totally shatters a huge misconception. We usually assume that if someone falls, it's because they just didn't have the leg strength to hold themselves up, right? Well, reality check, falls are overwhelmingly a timing problem, not just a muscle problem. I mean, sure, strong legs absolutely matter, don't get me wrong, but in that terrifying split second, when your foot misses the floor, your brain has to fire a lightning-fast emergency signal all the way down your nervous system, through your hips, down your legs, and into your feet. One foot has to shoot out to catch you before your body drops past the point of no return.
And you know, here is where the psychological side really kicks in. Usually after the age of 70 or so, a lot of folks start losing trust in this rapid emergency reflex. You start noticing this confidence gap, right? You see these really cautious behaviors start to creep in. Maybe you reach out for the kitchen counter before you even need it. Or you find yourself constantly staring down at the floor when you walk, taking super tiny steps, avoiding quick turns altogether. And why? Because deep down, there's this growing fear that if you genuinely stumble, your body just isn't going to catch you in time. And as a result, your world just starts to shrink.
Okay, Section 3, 3 layers of protection. Let's look at how your body actually tries to save you.
Because here's the thing. Your body doesn't just go from totally steady to instantly falling down. It actively fights to save you first. Your brain is constantly working behind the scenes to keep your center of weight perfectly positioned right over your feet. It's doing this all day long. When you sway just a little bit while washing dishes at the sink, your ankles are making these tiny, quiet corrections. A little pressure in the toes here, a tiny shift in the heels there, all just to keep that center of weight perfectly safe.
But what happens if you tip too far or too fast? Well, those little ankle corrections just aren't going to cut it anymore. Your hips will desperately try to shift your weight back, but if that fails, your body only has one single option left. It has to create a brand new base of support before gravity finishes the job. Think of a tipping table that suddenly shoots a leg out to stay upright. You are quite literally moving the floor back underneath your weight.
So let's stack this all together. You've got layer 1, those tiny, quiet ankle corrections. Layer 2, the hip shifts. And finally, layer 3, the ultimate rescue mechanism, the emergency step. If that final rescue step fires early enough, boom, it catches you. If it fires late, it lands short. And if the signal doesn't fire at all, that's when you fall.
Which brings us to Section 4, why caution fails you and why moving less actually hides the danger.
Look, it is completely understandable to want to move less after you stumble or after watching a friend fall. But, and this is absolutely crucial, this instinct actually makes the problem so much worse. There's a great saying, being careful is not the same thing as being prepared. If your body spends years moving only inside this tiny, super careful, low-demand safe zone, it's exactly like keeping a fire alarm turned off for 10 years and just hoping it rings loud enough the one day you actually have a fire. When you move less, your emergency reflex basically goes to sleep because it's never asked to show up.
We really have to understand the difference between a planned step and a saving step.
A planned step is just a normal walking step. You consciously decide, I'm going to move my foot now. But a saving step, that is an entirely different beast. It's a nervous system reflex that lives right out there on the razor's edge between steady and unsteady. It only triggers when your body is actively drifting and the alarm bells go off, and that is the exact reflex we need to wake up.
That leads us perfectly into Section 5, waking up the reflex through safe exposure.
So, how do we actually fix this? How do we dust off that alarm and wake up a quiet reflex without putting ourselves in any real danger? The secret is safe exposure. We have to create tiny, controlled moments of safely losing balance. But to do this, you absolutely must follow 3 golden rules. Number 1, keep a straight body line. No folding forward at the waist like you're taking a bow. Number 2, the step has to be unplanned. You just let your body gently drift from the ankles until your foot naturally fires out on its own. And number 3, you need a firm landing. That foot shoots out, hits the floor flat, and locks you in.
Now, I cannot stress this enough. Safety is non-negotiable here. You must practice these steps right beside a highly sturdy support, like a heavy kitchen counter. Absolutely no slippery floors. And please, no practicing in just your socks. If you feel dizzy or you feel any sharp pain, you stop immediately. And if you've had a recent fall, always talk to your doctor or physical therapist first. Listen, make the movements smaller if you have to. The goal here is control, not pain. All right, our final section, Section 6, the 4-week progress blueprint to retrain your reflex.
Let's dive right into the specific exercises that give your nervous system the safe, repeated signals it needs to relearn what to do. First up is the forward quick step. You're going to stand near that sturdy counter, keep your body straight, and just lean gently from the ankles. Remember, you are not taking a normal step on command. You're letting your body drift forward just enough that the nervous system kind of panics for a second and fires a foot out to catch you. That tiny hesitation right before the step, that's the magic. That is your reflex waking up.
But, as we all know, falls don't just happen forward, do they? Nope. They happen in all directions when we turn around in the kitchen or reach up for a shelf. So, we've got to train the side and backward recovery too. You let your body safely drift sideways or slightly backward, making sure there's a solid wall or a heavy sofa right behind you to teach your body how to rebuild your base in 360 degrees.
Which brings us to the step and stick, because just stepping out isn't enough. If you keep shuffling and stumbling after your foot hits the floor, you're probably still going to fall. You have to step, plant your foot firmly, hold perfectly still for a few seconds, and then reset. Practicing this, along with a staggered stance to really feel your body in space, trains your brain how to actually finish the reflex and lock back into a steady position.
So, what does progress actually look like? Well, reflex training is quiet, and it definitely doesn't happen overnight. Week 1? It's really just about familiarity. You're just trying to feel a little less surprised when your foot shoots out. By weeks 2 and 3, you're going to notice firmness. Your foot comes down harder, and there are way fewer of those extra little shuffles. And by week 4, the real magic happens, what I call kitchen confidence. You'll literally notice you feel so much steadier just turning around to grab a coffee mug. It's a real game changer. Now, I want to be incredibly clear with you. While this training cannot realistically prevent every single fall, it's all about rebuilding trust in your own incredible body. It's about taking your independence back from fear. So, I want to leave you with this thought. Are you going to let your body's emergency alarm keep gathering dust on the shelf? Or are you ready to wake it up, rebuild your confidence, and give yourself one more chance to catch yourself before gravity wins?